One of the biggest questions that homeowners have is, should I refinance or should I just pay extra towards my mortgage? And the answer isn't always obvious. Welcome to my webinar. My name's Sabrina. I help homeowners become at least 10% smarter when it comes to mortgage, when it comes to understanding these concepts, anything mortgage related, just based off of my expertise, over 16 years of financial expertise here. So today we will be talking about should you refinance or just pay extra towards the mortgage? Two different strategies. So option A is refinance. Option B, extra principal payment. So these are two completely different strategies. Both may save interest, but they work differently. Why people refinance? So why do people refinance in the first place? This is to lower their payment, different loan term. So going into a 15-year, going into a 30-year, going into an 8-year, going into a 29-year, whatever the case may be, going into a different loan term. Removing PMI, so that mortgage insurance. This can apply to conventional loans, can also apply to FHA loans with MIP. Access equity. So accessing equity is nice when it does make sense. Utilizing equity in the home for whatever you need, home improvements, consolidating debts, just overall financial goals. And yeah, major is consolidating debts. Just went over that here. So I have helped so many clients save month to month, and some savings it is worth it to clients, some savings it's not. So an extra 200 a month or an extra 1,500 or 2,000 a month. All just depends on your loan type, income, all that good stuff. Always speak to a financial professional, a lender or a broker. They will be the ones to let you know whether or not it makes sense and lay it all out for you so you can make a very informed decision. Okay. So why do people pay extra? So I have had clients that pay extra from the get-go. So when they first originate their mortgage, after they purchase the home, they're wanting to pay that extra amount. And I love that because that's going to overall save interest in the long run. So doing that from the get-go is great, but you can do that at any time in your mortgage. Why do people pay extra? Because that reduces interest. You pay off the home sooner. You get to keep that existing loan. So no headaches refinancing, no closing cost. That's another major reason why people pay extra. It may be beneficial just to do that with the mortgage that you're in already. Okay. Closing costs do matter. So one thing I always encourage people to understand, refinancing comes with cost. So ask yourself, will I stay in the home long enough to benefit? And you want to look at recoup. So look at your recoup. The way that you do that is looking at all your loan costs at a glance. I always say just look at your loan cost themselves and see your monthly savings. So, quick example. I love to do these. Say if your closing costs are 5,000, okay? But in refinancing, you're going to save like we'll say 300 on the monthly payment, okay? So what you want to do is simply take that 5,000 and divide it by 300. Just simple math here. And that gives us 16. So 16 months or 17 months. So how long is that? That's a year in 4 or 5 months, okay? So am I going to stay in the home that long? Um, maybe, maybe not. Maybe there's different plans. We are all on different timelines, so what works for somebody might not work for somebody else, okay? And that's how it is when it comes to mortgage. That's why I love to explain these concepts to you because it might make sense for somebody, and for somebody else, it might not make sense. So, closing costs matter. So, refinancing does come with closing cost, and you always want to look at your recoup to see whether or not it's going to make sense in the long run. Now, if this is a forever home, I'm going to be in this home forever. I want to pass this home on to my kids. Like, yeah, go for it because you're going to recoup that cost and definitely refinance when the opportunities come up, when those low rates come up, and if it's going to make sense in life just at the time that you're at. So, oops, okay. Recoup matters. So I just broke that down. Again, you take the costs. You divide that by your monthly savings, and that gives you a break even, however many months. Okay. You can also utilize, I do have a calculator that does this. So you can utilize my calculator as well and just plug in those figures if the math becomes like a little bit too complicated or you just hate math and want an easy breakdown. I have that available on my website. Okay. Extra payments offer flexibility. So, this is something that people don't always think about. If you voluntarily pay more towards your principal, you can stop making the extra payments too if life changes. Your required payments stay the same. So this offers really great flexibility to homeowners. And this is what I love to talk to. And it doesn't get talked about enough. When you first originate your mortgage or you first originate a refinance, I did this more commonly with refinances, as that's where most of my expertise stems from. I help clients with the plan in place so that way they know exactly when their home's going to be paid off. They, some clients, it's easier to do biweekly payments. Some clients, it's easier to do a lump sum payment, say getting a bonus or something, and you're anticipating an amount of funds, or maybe it's just simply tax time and you're like, I don't need this money. I'm just going to put it towards my mortgage to get it paid off quicker. It can be anything, honestly. So you could do the lump sum, you can do the biweekly, you can just pay extra monthly, like an extra 50, 100, 200 bucks. That's going to drastically reduce your interest in the loan. And less you pay over time is the better way to be, honestly. And what's great about this, you can always, say you come up with a month that something does come up. I need tires. I just paid for tires not too long ago. $1,500. That's a big chunk. And say that something comes up like that, like you need, something this month, next month, whatever the case may be. And you know that those expenses are going up. All you can do is simply go and just not pay your extra on your principal that month, and you have that extra money available to you. So you want we want to make this work. We want to make it so that way it fits your lifestyle. Obviously, we're all in different timelines. We have different incomes. We have different goals we're trying to achieve. So this can look different for everybody. And if you can't make extra payments, that's okay too. It's tough nowadays. I know. Cost of living is so high right now. However, I helped a lot of clients out with debt consolidations. That's a majority of my experience. And sometimes freeing up that monthly and paying extra and getting them on a great plan was a really, really true benefit to them. And with some clients, it didn't make sense. So it depends. So, all right. Equity changes the conversation. So, equity can create opportunities, but just because you have equity, it doesn't automatically mean refinancing is the best choice. You want to have your lender or your broker break this down for you. Look at if you were to stay in the same loan, if you were to pay extra, or if you were to jump to this new loan, new interest rate, and then obviously that's set at that lower interest rate. So, you're going to be paying less, which might just make more sense to refi. Okay, so ask yourself again, what's my goal? What am I looking to achieve? How long am I planning to stay in the home? What are the costs? And what are all my options? You want to have a plan A, a plan B. You want to look at the pros. You want to look at the cons. Yep. Definitely don't rush into anything here. And this is why I exist to explain these complicated things to you so you better make better choices, understanding, and helping you become at least 10% smarter when it comes to the mortgage, home ownership in general. So, knowledge creates options. I conduct these weekly webinars and I post them to YouTube so that way I can help and give you all my expertise in an easy to understand manner because it is complicated. So feel free to binge any of the videos that I have because they are helpful. See you on our next webinar and have a great rest of your day, everybody. Bye.